Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome
Happy
to
New
the
Year.
season opener of Brutally Honest here at, what time is it? I forgot.
7:30.
Still doing
Every
7:30?
Tuesday.
How was your New Year's?
Live only on Facebook.
How was your New Year's?
Actually, my New Year's was great, man.
How was y'all New Year's? I hope y'all had a good time. I thought, had the well wishes or the holidays, things like that. I actually had a pretty good New Year's. I actually was able to spend 6 days with my son, bro. Oh, nice. And people that know this don't know that I don't get my son every weekend and things like that, but I do get him every other week. And I only get him for a couple of days, but this time I was actually blessed to spend 6 days with him, and I had a great time. But this was something that happened throughout that time that actually got to me, bro. Like, it really affected me. Like, he was like, hey, Dad, I want to go and talk to my sister. And I'm like, damn, man, for those that don't know right now, going through a situation where right now I'm not able to actually have that communication or contact with her as much as I want to, But what am I going to tell my son? No, you can't talk to your sister. You feel me? Like, what am I supposed to do at that point? What am I supposed to do? Like, I'm going to keep him away. I'm not going to involve him or anything like that. He doesn't know any better. He's only 7 years old, Mm-hmm.
So
what do? I tell him, of course, baby, here's my phone. Here, just give her a call. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, damn, I wish she answers. I wish she picks up or something like that. My little man don't know. And then so I kept on doing what I'm doing. I come back and I asked him. I was like, yo, though, so did she pick up? And he was like, no. And I called her twice too. And I'm like, man, that really got to me, man. That really got me sad. And the best thing I told him was like, oh, she's probably busy or something like that. Who knows? It's still early. She's probably still sleeping. We'll give her a call back later. But that really bothered me. Like, what am I supposed to tell my son? Like, oh, you can't speak to your sister? Like, there's nothing I'm going to be able to tell my son that he's going to actually comprehend something like that. And this is what we're talking about as far as kids. People using kids as leverage. People using kids as ammos. People using kids to get whatever they want. People involving the kids in the fights and the disputes between their parents.
Oh, and not for nothing, like you said, using a kid to hurt the other person, so where they won't even allow you to talk to your child or allow you to have communication with them. Trust me, bro, I get it. I mean, it as bad as it sounds with the world that we're living in today, it's the reality. I mean, I still got presents from Christmas from 2-3 years ago that I haven't even given my kids yet.
Still wrapped up too,
yeah,
right?
I bought my son a bike that at this point he's outgrown. Now I have to get him a new bike that I haven't even been able to give him the old one. Now I got to figure it out. Like now that he's getting bigger, like. It's just crazy,
and then even at then, you don't even know when you are going to be able to see him again. Because at the end of the day, isn't that... Okay, so they keep it... Isn't that on your control as far as, because a lot of people get child support and visitation rights. They think it's one thing when it's actually completely different. People feel and I'm not saying that this is your situation. I'm just saying, like, generally speaking, people feel like, oh, because they or he or she is not paying child support, they can't see their kids. It has nothing to do with that. But in the same breath, also, like mothers and fathers, they'd be like, oh, they don't let me see my kids, so I'm not paying for child support. No, that's not a valid reason either. Yeah. Like, they're both separate, but they kind of both work hand in hand. We're actually going to get into that. The thing what we're going to talk about is, like, let's say, we're talking from a guy's perspective. And this is brutally honest. Everything we talk about is from a guy's perspective, but in this show, we actually wanted to bring a special guest, from a woman's perspective, because the situation that we're talking about, the topic that we're discussing this evening is a very serious topic. It's a topic that everybody relates to. It's a topic that a lot of people feel it. There's a lot of people actually going through this right now. So I want to warm welcome everybody. Welcome Tanisha Barkley here to the stage. Thank you, Tanisha. Thank you for joining us. We completely appreciate it.
Definitely.
Look at her looking so nice and everything. How was your holiday, Ma?
Good.
That's what's up. So, like, we was talking about how, like, let's say I'm having an issue with my baby moms. Now, my baby moms is the one that has my son and my daughter. But we got into an argument for nothing. It had even nothing to do with the kid, Now, all of a sudden, I'm not going to let you talk to your son until you do that favor for me. Or I'm not going to even let you see your daughter until you get that done or something like that. And it's like, but my son and my daughter first of all, had nothing to do with it. it's not even about the kids. It's a favor that you're asking that I have the power of saying no, but you want to use the kid as ammo of leverage to get what you want. And, you know, this is a situation, being that I'm a man, talking from a guy's perspective, I understand that a lot of my dudes and male friends, we all go through this. Definitely. But from a female, do females also go through that same situation where, like, it's the father, you know, using their kid as average, so it's females?
Absolutely. Okay. I mean, I'm going through that situation now, actually.
Okay.
Well, I feel like the baby daddy, the kid's father, because he holds my past to keep my kids from me. Or when I do have my kids, he feel like he can't trust me with my kids when I've always had my kids. So it's just, yeah, it's the same thing.
And he feels like that because he's still, like you said, he's still judging you on your past. Yeah. Being, oh, this is how you used to be, so you must be doing the same thing. So he's not even either giving a benefit of a doubt as far as, oh, okay, you changed, you're better, showing by your actions and what you're saying as far as, oh, you know, now you're putting I'm not saying that you didn't do this before, but now your kids are your priority and now they come first, and he still doesn't give you that trust to, like, yeah, it's okay here, do whatever you want. I don't even have to call in and check up on them. You are their mother, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's got to be hard to be like that, right?
Yeah, especially, I mean, on the other aspect, I mean, being the father, as men, we used to it. And what I mean by that, I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying we're more used to it because usually the women get custody of the kids. So as men,
yes,
we have to deal with that day in and day out. Now, you know, you brought up the fact that one of the things is he don't trust you because of your past, and he's holding that against you. Whereas for us men, and I mean, I'm going to speak for me personally, I think it's more so like my kid's mom is trying to hurt me. And because she know personally she can't do anything to hurt me. Me and her are done. That relationship is over. It is what it is. You know, she moved on, I'm moving on. But the only way she know it affects me is through my kids. I'm a proud father. So to not have custody of my kids or not be able to visit my kids when I want or get my kids when I want or do what I want with my kids, that's the hardest part. And I feel like she's intentionally doing that. Do you feel like maybe he's intentionally doing it to you?
Yeah, of course. I mean, in the beginning, we can have a conversation about the kids, and then all of a sudden it is, you just want to be with me. It's been done. I was with you for 10 years. There's no us anymore. It's only about the kids. But they feel like we have to be together. I don't have to be with you to deal with my kids at all.
So you completely agree with the statement when I say it's selfish?
Yes.
Immature.
And the kids are getting involved for no reason at all.
But that's the thing. It's because, like how Keith said, you know, she thinks that she's hurting me. Let's be real. She is. She is. But not as much as they're hitting the kids.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You feel me? Yes, you're hurting me. I'm going to be a man. I'm going to be like, does it hurt me not being able to speak to my kids and see my kids? Of course. You know what you're doing because that's why you're doing it in the first place. But if I'm an adult and I feel like this and I have some type of control with the emotions, right? Mm-hmm. What about the kids that don't? What about the kids that think and feel freely? What's determining them their behavior as far as when they start thinking like, oh, my dad ain't picking me up, he must not love me. When they don't know the situation or the troubles or the difficulties for your dad to pick you up. What I don't understand is this, guys, and y'all can disagree and agree with me. This is like how deadbeat parents, right? The ones that they don't even want to see their kids or be around the kids, they got an open door. They get that drop off and pick up service, meaning the other parent will drop off the kids. Hey, what time can I pick them up? Sure, no problem. Oh, at midnight because you want to spend time with them? Sure, no problem. Mm-hmm. And pick them up and everything, right?
And they don't even want to be in the kids' lives at all.
But I'm spending time with my kids. But how much time are you spending? If what you're doing is sitting down in the middle of the living room, watching TV, just trying to hear for what they're doing. Y'all better get out that fridge. But this is you spending time with your kid. Because let's be honest, you don't even want to be around them, so why are you going to spend the time with them? But those that actually want to be around, mothers and fathers, that want to spend that quality time with their kids, that want to build that bond, that want to take you to a fun spot, Universal, Want to have a picnic, man. Something even so simple. It's like we got to beg and plead for attention, that affection, or a phone call, just that presence.
Yeah.
I know the holidays passed and everybody got a lot of presents, you know, but there's no present bigger than the presence of you being around your kid's life.
Definitely.
You know? And as a man, I feel like, as a man, speaking from a man, you know, I mean personally, I'm not gonna allow somebody else to dictate that from me. Like the relationship that I'm gonna have with my kid. You know, you want to put it in like a judge hands, and this is we agree on this one, right?
Yeah,
I feel really iffy about this. Like now it's the judge hands. The judge had nothing to do with us. He wasn't even there on our first date. He doesn't even know us. He doesn't even know me. But like we just said, but you judge people from their past. Yeah. He ain't even judging people from that. He's judging people from what he sees on a paper, and all of a sudden he feels like that's. You listen. You could go to somebody's whole Facebook profile, and you still ain't gonna know somebody or know who they are at that particular time and place where you're actually meeting that person. Exactly. Now this judge is gonna tell me. Or mothers and fathers, oh no, you could pick up your kid on a Tuesday or on a Thursday at this time for X amount of hours, and I'm like, and who are you? Straight up.
Right. Exactly. Right. Because like you said, they wasn't there when we was making the baby. They wasn't in the room. No cameramans, no nothing. It wasn't there. But now that me and the mom had a disagreement, we're not together anymore for whatever the reason may be. Now I have to put the relationship that I'm going to have with my children in the hands of a stranger. In the hands of somebody who, like you said, don't know me or my family. They don't know the relationship my kids have with me or their mother. But they're going to determine if my child is going to spend the rest of their life with whom and when.
Well.
And you know, we talk about this topic in Stitches. One of the things, you know, this is, just to be clear, I want to state it. This is season 2, episode 1 of Brutally Honest. And one of the things, you know, and me and you had this conversation personally, you know, before doing Brutally Honest to begin with, is one of the things I always said, and we are brutally honest, especially with each other, but definitely with you guys, is I didn't want to talk about this topic. This was a topic that was so sensitive for me that I literally said, look, I don't mind doing the lives, I don't mind getting involved, and I love this. I love the fact that I can affect people's lives, but one of the things I didn't want to talk about was my kids because of this topic and how sensitive it is to me personally. And Stitch was like, you know what? I get that. But we all are going through something. It's not just about you. It's about other people. Somebody else might be going through the same thing and may need to hear something you have to say or something I have to say, or maybe it would just feel better to get it off your chest, to actually speak about it. And that's why I'm here on this opener today. New year, not new you. I'm not into all of that, but that's why I'm here today to talk about it, is because it pisses me off.
It should piss you off.
It's not a sensitive topic to where I'm ready to cry. And maybe I am a little bit because I haven't seen my kids in years. It's been a while. And everybody always says, like, you know, isn't that up to you? Yeah, it is. It is up to me to have to go to court, to have to get a lawyer, to have to get other people involved when I'm just trying to involve the person I made the kids with.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Period.
And that's it. And I can't even get the communication. And it's sad, like you said, you know, you mentioned your son trying to reach out to your daughter to talk to his sister, and it's like, man, I can't even call my kids to just say Merry Christmas. Yeah. Or get a video of them opening presents, or any of that.
Any of that.
And the reality is now I have to, and for those of you that have gone through this process and do know, they give you a booklet that's like, it's kind of thick, and this is what they tell you have to fill out in order to even get a court date to set anything up to get custody of your kids or visitation rights.
But you also got to pay for it too. I already see.
And I was just gonna say,
first page,
the very first thing it tells you on there also is
$300.
If you have a lawyer, if you're gonna have a lawyer present, which we all know lawyers do not come cheap for nothing.
Nope.
Period. But it's like if I represent myself and I do something wrong, I'm going to affect the relationship with my kids myself. Whereas if I get somebody who's done this and they do this for a living, which means you got to hire a lawyer if you want it done properly, it's going to cost money. Now, on top of that, I still have to live. I still, we all still have to take care of our basic needs and survive. And I'm not saying that as any excuse by any means to not be responsible. I'm just saying that on top of doing all of that, on top of having to get other people involved, I'm still not able to see my kids. And that's what we're talking about today. Why do people feel like they have the audacity, or why they feel like they have the right in order to get back at you as a parent for whatever the reason?
For whatever, because it could be many reasons.
They use the kids and involving kids, not just in that way, but also in the disputes and in the drama. Because let's face it, some people use the kids to directly hurt you.
That's the thing, and for different reasons too. One of the things, like which you agreed on, is like for being selfish. That's one of the reasons. Because or even jealousy. I feel like jealousy is another reason. Being that, I still want to be with my baby moms, but she over there, she moved on to somebody else. So now I'm feeling a certain way. Like, no, you can't see your kids. Go see that dude's kids or something like that. Because of jealousy, because I'm still not over it. This is the type of world we live at. What this is right. And matter of fact, this is just normal. It's not normal. I don't care how common it is. It is not okay to have your kids growing up with that feeling of abandonment. I personally haven't done the research of how it's going to affect my kids. But to be honest, I don't even want to find out. The last thing I'm going to have my kids is growing up feeling like their father didn't love them. Feeling like their father didn't fight for them. Feeling like their father wasn't even trying to be there. Because to be honest, I'll go through a whole army just to see the smile on my daughter's face. There's nothing or no one that can stop me. But the sad truth is, like Keith said, the sad truth, you want to see your kid? Sure. Go fill out this damn encyclopedia with a 500 fine and penalties, and if you mess something up, you got to redo it all over again. Now they force you to get a lawyer, and now you go through this whole process. Now it's been 2 years, and you still haven't heard the voice of your daughter. You still haven't thrown a pitch to your son at that baseball game. Where's the time? All this time you're spending on this process and procedure and how you're supposed to do things by law and paperwork, and who's giving me my time back? Y'all want my money, right? Yeah, of course y'all want my money. But where's my time with my kid? Nobody cares about that, all right? Because at the end of the day, the world lives around money, bro. So one of the reasons is, yes, being young-minded, being immature, jealousy, you still want to be with that person, or that person just moved on when you wasn't ready for it. Whatever the reason, jealousy, things like that. Another reason is it's money, bro. Yeah. Money. I always want more money. You're not giving me more money? I'm putting you on child support so I can get it. Yep. You're not paying your child support? You ain't going to see your kid.
And Angela just posted up here, it's leverage. It's sad.
Yes,
it's sad that's exactly what it comes down to, is leverage to get what they want. Like it is selfishness. Whether they want more money or they want to hurt you, they're using the kid to try to get it. And Selena just put, it's disgusting. Parents that keep their kids from other parents is just selfishness and sickening. I could see if someone was a bad parent or, into some bad stuff, like a criminal or something like that, but kids should never be used as a pawn.
And another thing is, like, once you find out that when somebody's on child support, all of a sudden they're an unfit parent. A lot of people, child support is to support the child. It's not for failed relationships, right? We've all seen this meme going around, right? Like, child support is not for failed relationships. You're supposed to go for the actual child, Like, I will put you, like, we're going to keep it brutally honest. It's 2019, so let's speak some personal. Have you ever heard, this is how I got put on child support. They put me on child support, right? This is what happened. It's real talk, right? And then she tells me, I'll take you off child support if you let him adopt her.
What?
You let him adopt her so she could change her last name. And don't worry, you don't got to pay for child support anymore.
So
have y'all heard of that one? Does that just happen to me? I doubtful. I must be the only one with balls to actually speak about it, though.
Wow. So what you're saying is she moved on in another relationship, and now she wants somebody else to be your daughter's father. And in doing so, she's stopping you from being in your daughter's life because you won't let somebody else step up and take your role when you're there?
But when you think about it like that, Keith, isn't that like, oh, sure, let me just sell my daughter off. That's how I took it. You want me to sell my daughter because I don't want to pay for child support. So, yeah, you know what? I don't want to pay for child support. Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Let them adopt my daughter and change her last name and everything. Now what rights do I have? I'll never get to see my daughter ever again in my life.
Exactly.
Get out of here. If I'm having a hard time speaking to her now, what you think the possibility is I'm going to be able to talk to her when she don't even got my last name anymore?
Facts.
Get the hell out of my face with that shit, man.
Well, why did she put you on child support?
I already told you. There's different reasons why people put different people on child support.
Yeah.
Right? We said money. It's always about the money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's always about the money. I ended up getting a girlfriend that looked better. Okay. There. That's what happened.
Well, I'm going to be honest. I'm on child support.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I pay child support, I still don't see my kids. And the only reason they call me or allow me to speak to my kids is for money. My son just asked me for $100 on Friday. I just pay child support. I mean, I have no problem giving my son $100, but the reason was for a teddy bear. It doesn't cost $100 for a teddy bear. Your dad is using your phone to ask me for $100.
Oh man, I'm so.
But I feel like you're sending my kids to ask me for money when I pay child support. I can barely pay child support, but I have to because you went through the court to make me pay for my kids. Mm-hmm. When I have them, I spend my cash. It doesn't make sense to me.
That doesn't make sense to me. Oh man, you really hit that on the nail on the head on that one. Man.
Yeah, because that just pissed me off. Sorry.
But it's brutal honesty. It's what's happening in your life, and that's what we talk about here. What's going on in our lives? What we can do that's going to affect other people. And one of the things is like what we talking about. I know it's somebody else out there that's probably going through exactly the same thing or dealing with this and don't have anybody to talk to. I hope they're tuning in watching this. If you know somebody that might be a single parent or single parent trying to get rights to their kids, tag them to this show. Have them watch this and understand that you're not in this alone. There are other people trying to go through the same fight. And that's what it is. It's a fight for you to be able to see your kids and have rights to them. Whether you got to go through the court systems and be put on child support, if that's what it takes, do what's necessary. Because at the end of the day, in the long run, the person that hurts the most is your child.
And not just a fight, bro. It's also a battle, an uphill, steep battle that you gotta go through. Because it's like how Tanisha's saying, like, so now you're talking to your son and he over here asking you and all this and all that. And I had the same situation. I spoke to my friend and she was like, oh, did you speak to them on the phone or was this through text? And I was like, oh, this was through text. And I was like, and she was like, oh, you see? How do you know who is it that you're texting at that point if it's all through text? And the only reason that really really hit me because it's like, you know, like when I went over there to see my kid, she was like, oh, Dad, I gave her the sneakers I bought her. And she was like, oh, wow, you still bought them for me anyway? I was like, yeah, I know you told me you didn't like them, but I had bought them for you anyway. But, hey, you could just use them to just play around or something like that. And she was like, I actually love the sneakers, but my mom didn't like them, and she wears my sneakers too. So she told me to tell you, no, I don't like them.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So now I'm like, but it's the situation like you're saying. So now you're stuck in the middle. This is what I'm saying. Like, it's a fight. Definitely agree with it. But it's also a battle, too, because it's like, whether he knows it or not, whether they know it or not that you're paying child support or not or whatever, it doesn't matter to them. Mom, Dad, I need $100 for X, Y, and Z. Yeah. It's either yes or no. That's the only thing they're gonna determine that. They don't know. But I just sent your mother, your father $200. you got money in your account. Like, they don't know any of that. So it's like, it's a thin line as far as where do you divide it? You feel me? Like, and what side do you choose? And it's like, oh, you want $100? Hey, listen, I just sent you $200. I'll send you 50.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you still don't want to shut them down. Like, so if I pick up my son, let's say, and this is an example, so I'm picking up my son and he's woofing. He got hair all over, right? But I just I'm spending him $150 every week, right? But I pick him up and she ain't using it for that.
Yeah, he's
right now, and he's woofing, and I'm trying to go out and have a good time, and I'm fresh. It's my responsibility. It doesn't matter whose fault. It's my responsibility if I want my son to be just as fresh as me to go take him to the barbershop and give him a cut. It don't matter how much money I give him that month or that week. It doesn't matter. And again, it is really none of my business for me to get into their parents as far as what is it that you're using that money for.
The money is for the kids.
It's for the kids.
When I have my kids,
you're absolutely right. The money is for the kids. But if you're sending $100 for your son, you're sending $100. Here's $100 for my son. But they're the ones that are staying with your kid. They're the ones that are, out of 30 days are staying with your kid. 24 out of those days, those $100 is gonna go towards everything.
Yeah.
You feel me? So now you're paying for light bills and everything. You're paying for the clothes, you're paying for food, you're paying for everything. Damn, but I gave you those $100 to buy him sneakers. I understand, but he needed other things. He needed some school supplies or whatever. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's great. But this is where communication and co-parenting comes in. As far as you having that communication with that person, but if you don't got that communication, now you're always paranoid. But what are you using my money for? I just sent you money. What's this and that? And now it's a debate. Now it's an argument. Or you know what? And all this is happening in front of the kid?
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
No. This is why I separated from my kids, my parents, because I'm not going to argue in front of my kids around them.
Yeah.
I'd rather keep that smile on your face.
And that's what it's supposed to be about taking care of the kid. For those of you just tuning in, we're talking about I want to see my kid. And that's the topic that we've been discussing today for those parents that are single without their kids, just trying to see them. For those that can see them and are going through the court systems, through child support and everything else like that. And just touching on different things here and there. And I just want to mention, Nezzy said, she has an 8-year-old. And her son's father, he is not on child support. He doesn't give anything, and he's barely around. But she allows him to still come and take the child and so on and so forth. And she said, my family says I'm too nice, that I should have just taken him through the courts. Now, I feel catch-22 about that. On the one hand, I feel like what we were saying in the beginning. Why is it that the people that don't even want to be around their kids' lives, the ones that, they don't want to say have an abortion, I ain't want to have no kids, but you had it anyway, and now they don't even want to deal with you. They don't even want to deal with that kid. But because you want your child to have both parents, or at least know both parents, you're throwing the red carpet out for that deadbeat, that person that don't even want to be involved. Like, look, my child just needs a parent in their life. Like, I'm one, but they don't even know their father, or they don't even know their mom. Like, I just want you to know. And then you have people out there like me, where I'm a proud father. I want to spend every day with my kid. I'll take custody of them and won't put her on child support. Live your life, your dreams, do whatever you want. Let me take the kids. I can't even see them. And so I'm catch-22 there just on that aspect, because I feel like the ones that don't want to be there shouldn't be. They're not going to benefit that child, even if that child knows who that parent is. To know that they never even wanted them or wanted to even be around them is not going to benefit that child. Get you good. One, be content with yourself, be happy with yourself, and eventually move on with your life. And have somebody that wants to be there with you and your child. Not somebody that's clearly telling you they don't want to have nothing to do with you or that baby. Just straight up.
You know, a lot of times, like a lot of people that are in this situation, they feel because they're on child support, they feel that because they're not paying it, they don't have the visitation rights for their kids. You know,
Not true.
And I won't people to be clear about this. I actually researched this in the state of Florida. We're speaking from the state of Florida, right?
Yep.
A mother or father cannot withhold your visitation rights for non-payment of child support. Again, in the same sentence, you cannot stop paying for child support because you don't have your visitation rights. So it's like, oh, so they're keeping you from the kids. Oh, I'm not paying child support. I'm not going to pay. I don't even get to see my kids. That's not going to be a valid case.
Yeah, no.
You know?
Definitely.
Oh, they don't pay child support, so they don't get to see their kid anyway. No, that's not a valid case either. You know, it works both ways, you know? And this is a real serious topic, and just to switch things up, I wasn't able to make a reservation at the library, Keith.
No?
Nah. You know
Why
what?
not?
They were all booked. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Brutally honest, this was the season opener. Now next week we're all going to be talking about, you know, one of the things you wanted to talk about. Keith, what was your topic? Bringing people down, something like that. What was it?
Yeah. Well, no, I was just going to say, and I mean, I guess lead off of this, but why do people bring other people down to make themselves look better? And I mean, we could talk about that from a couple different standpoints. Definitely tune in next Tuesday. We're going to be talking about that. But yeah, why do people bring down somebody else to make themselves look better or get ahead?
We're also going to be talking about how do you feel about dating somebody that has multiple baby mothers or baby fathers and or multiple kids, when just one person or multiple persons, you know, like that. Just to cap off this, we were talking about how is it that we live in a type of world where it's okay to use our kids as ammo and as leverage, where it's okay to involve our kids in disputes and the dramas between the adults, where it's okay to keep the kids away from their parents, and when all their parents wants to do is spend the time with them. We spoke about the deadbeat parents and what to do if you're a deadbeat. You definitely don't got this.
Yeah.
Because all you want to do is complain and act and talk how good about how much you love your kids and you want to see your kids. But if you ain't doing nothing about it, I ain't trying to hear that anymore. It's your boy Stitches NBC, Michael Marte.
Your boy Brutal Keith.
Thank you, Tanisha Barkley. We definitely want to appreciate you being here. It as a woman, it does take a lot of courage. And that takes a lot of trust, and I want to thank you for spending your time and being here and giving us your insights and your perspective as well. Thank you.
Definitely.
Thank y'all for tuning in. We will see y'all next week. Like, comment, share. Press 1 if y'all seeing this live. 2 if y'all watching it on replay.
Let me know if you like the new shirts. Man.
They love the shirts.
We got some new shirts.